Hello everyone and welcome to this live broadcast about the full moon in Virgo, which is going to happen on the 18th of March, in a couple of the day after tomorrow, and it's going to be quite an interesting moon because it's the last moon of the zodiacal year. So this means that actually we are just about to take a step into something completely new, and the new energy that is coming, that is going to come and overwhelm humanity and planet Earth, is the Christ energy. When we talk about the Christ energy, we don't mean anything religious, but the Christ energy is the energy of our solar system. It is an energy that is emanated by the sun. Our sun emanates that energy, the life force, and the Christic energy means that is an energy working to assist us getting in touch with our higher self or our soul. So every year, spring equinox, we receive this energy, which is something that we are going to work throughout the year in order to rise to a new level of consciousness. So a new energy touching our heart, which is the symbol of joining together what is coming from above and below, spirit and matter, in order to awaken something new but also something old, because it belongs to the potential that we have been carrying since our birth, that we are here to manifest in this life, but it's new to the way we observe and we see the world. And then that energy will really awaken something and create within us a new sense of purpose, a new sense of energy, a new sense of direction, which is exactly what this the spring is about. Is a sort of, we know after the spring equinox we have Easter, we have the time of resurrection that symbolically is decided thanks to, it happens always after the full moon, after the spring equinox. So it actually represents the new energy blossoming. Resurrection means going to a new level of consciousness. We have to look at it as a seed which we are going to work through during 2000 until the end of the zodiacal year, which is actually next spring equinox. So it's quite an intense time. And then one thing I haven't mentioned in my English live broadcast is the fact that the first 3 moons of the year are actually connected to the first 3 ray, the 7 ray of light, the first 3 ray, the ray of will, the ray of love, wisdom, and the ray of active intelligence. The first full moon after the spring equinox are directly an event which allow these 3 energies to come through. So the first full moon after the spring equinox, which is the Aries full moon, we are going to receive the energy of the love, wisdom, so the Christ energy. So with the energy at the 𝗦𝗚𝗟𝗏, so the full moon of Taurus full moon, we are going to receive the first ray, the energy of will and power, and we're going to receive that in the crown chakra. And then the last ray, the ray of active intelligence, the ray of adaptability, which means actually evolution, we are going to receive this ray in our throat chakra to clear what prevents us from being ourselves. This moon is the last moon of a transformation, which is going to be fully manifested after the spring equinox. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So if you look at this image, practically you have the 12 star signs. Aries is red, and you see here it corresponds to the letter A, and then Taurus coral, and then orange we have Gemini, and then gold is Cancer, and so on, until we reach the feet where we have Gemini. Pisces, sorry. So what I mean is we are just at the end of Pisces. So this full moon, this full moon will be at 27 degree Virgo, because when we have a full moon, the sun is in Pisces and the full moon will be in Virgo. So we are 27 degrees. So the energy that is really involved here is the energy, the relationship between magenta and olive green, which is very important. You know, when we work throughout the year, we constantly work with complementary colors, because when we have a new moon, we work with the color of the star sign the sun is at that point in time. But at the time of the full moon, we are working with the opposite sign. So in this case, it's going to be Virgo. And Virgo symbolically is a sign of that represents discernment, is related to the intestine, is related to choice, it's related to digestion. And we digest, we need to choose what we're going to keep and use it as an energy, and are going to let go and discard through our physicality, because we don't need that. So this is exactly what's happening at this point in time. And the energy, the day of this lunation is really representing exactly this aspect, because this lunation is going to happen on the 18th, which corresponds to the tarot card, the moon, which is symbolic, is also called digesting the past. So we are in Pisces, the sun is in Pisces, the sun is asking us to go within, to go through into our subconscious mind, and go into the pond, and really put the light into everything that is hidden within us, in order really to discern, which means discriminate and choose what we want to keep and what we want to let go. And 18 is really a number that I call it the grinding, the grinder, because it actually destroying and destroying matter, but in order to use it for something completely new. You know, I always talk about grinding a coffee, because when you grind a coffee, you know, the bean may not like to have that experience, but the coffee that is going to come out is going to be really very tasty and very good. It's the same way for us. We are going to be grinded. This time our old way of being is going to be grinded. And 18 is really about the relentless destruction of the mental, emotional, behavioral aspect within the self, because we have to become pure. And Virgo is really about discriminating the pure from the impure within us. And the month number 3 in numerology corresponds to perfection, corresponds to the energy of being able to see ourselves. But here, I would really like to look at it from the color point of view. Number 3 is related to yellow. And yellow is really putting the light on something, is really not using the intellect to make choices, but really to open our mind. Is the opening of the mind, is the knowledge not only based on focusing the attention on self, but is really the knowledge about opening and see something bigger and something higher, that is going to have a wider view in order to choose in a different way, because this full moon is really about choice. And 18 and 3 added together are 21. In esoteric numerology, this is called the first goal, so the first goal that we have to achieve. And 21 is really giving birth to a new idea, really giving birth to something new. And is a number that is an initiatic number, which means a number that is talking about something, a challenge that we have to go through, but is also a number that talks about a lot of protection. And 18 is also a 9, which in the Kabbalistic tarot is associated to Virgo. So Virgo is really coming out very strongly. And then also the total addition of the day of the lunation is 27, which 27-9, so another 9. And 27 is also the number of this month, because when we want to find the number of the month, we take the number of the month, in this case is March, is the third month, and then we add together either the single digit of the year, so to 2022 is a 6, to see what's happening in matter, but also to add the century, 20 plus 2 plus 2, which is a 24. So 24 plus 3 is 27. So 20 and 27 is also the degree of the moon and the sun. 27 is a very important number because at the time of this lunation, because it means the light fuses with the heart of matter, which means 7 in numerology is really about fusion. The universe is bringing in, is carrying, is sending to Earth this energy of fusion. And 2 is really the 2 aspects of the self, the personality and the soul, the inner self and the outer self, in order to become one through a process of internalization. And number 9 is associated to Virgo, which is really a star sign that is symbolic of the womb of time, the womb of matter, the womb of the transformation of the 3 aspects of the self, because Virgo refers also to Eve, to Isis, and to Mother Mary. So these 3 as the 3 aspects of the personality. Eve is the mental, Isis is the astral, emotional, and then Mary is the matter, the physicality that rises, ascends to a new level. So we are invited to leave behind what is no longer needed in order to reach a new level of being. Our mind has really to become one with the ongoing rebirthing process of life in matter. This card is talking about a sense of anguish that we might experience. Look what's happening in the world is not really easy, a sense of lost hope, but we can go through this process by transmuted, by completely obey and accept, not in a passive way, in a positive way, accept the process of transformation and really emerge in a new way, which is something coming exactly at the time of the spring equinox that this year is going to happen on the 20th of March. So Virgo is, as I said, a sign that apparently is described, is known as the sign associated to olive, so also bitterness. But from the higher point of view, olive is the sign of the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, so which means the presence of a higher energy coming through, and is also the sign that is the star sign that holds within itself the possibility of becoming a receptive agent of a new energy coming through. So the only way to receive the new is actually to somehow surrender. And if we look at the chart of the moon, if you see the majority of the planets are all focused in this area of the zodiac. On this side, we only have mainly the moon. So the majority of the planet is in Aries, Pisces, and Aquarius. So a strong energy. And we also have, can you see this aspect, is a kite. The kite is a very special aspect in astrology, because it shows us how an individual can use the power of life and love to expand into a greater whole of responsibility through cooperation and maturity. Is actually an aspect which activates our own paradox in order to solve it. And the point, the activation point of the paradox in relation to this lunation is really the moon, which is the old self. So it's if we resolve it, the shadow will dissolve. If we don't, we may have a challenging experience because we really need to learn what we need to learn. So a lot of energy coming through, and olive, the olive energy of Virgo is on one side, as I explained, bitterness. On the other side, we have in the olive a very interesting energy, because olive is the first color in the color rainbow, where we have from red to violet, if we have the presence of color blue. Because blue represents thy will. So it's the first color when we have, if we think about the body, the olive area is between the solar plexus and the heart chakra. Is if we think that the energy is coming up and we touch the blue energy just about the olive area. But also, the thy will is asking us to surrender to something higher. And this is why also we experience bitterness, because we are still holding on to the frequency of the lower chakra. But also in the olive, where there is a point of red, which is the energy of awakening, because the Kundalini is really rising and waking up something that we really need to acknowledge, we really need to let go, because it belongs to the old self. So a big process of awakening is happening in the darkness, it's happening in really challenging energy. And the solar system, all this planet on one side, means really that the solar system is all bending on one side. So in a way, it is symbolically, because it's not true, it is stress on one side. And because we really have to shift, not stay on one side, but shift our energy and really get into a new point of view. Do not react, but act, detach, and listen to what is really coming through our heart, because the kite is an aspect which generates power, concentrates power, and distributes power. And this is why I call this lunation learning self-mastery, because we don't have to be trapped by the emotional aspect of Mars and Venus that really may trigger within us emotional upsetting, okay? But we really have to conquer ourselves, because the superior man has no need for external validation. We don't need to be accepted. We don't need to be seen, We need to learn to focus all our energy on spirituality and let go when we don't lead. I was mentioning before, even in the Italian live broadcast, about the fact that I have many friends in Russia at this point in time. Many friends are going really through a lot of challenge. But it doesn't matter what happened on the surface. We need to remember that we symbolically hold our hands, we will go through it. And this is the big difference. This is the energy of Aquarius. What we are really going through is hold on to what we feel we are. And our mind doesn't have to get in conflict with our soul, but remain focused on what we feel called to. And whatever happens, we will go through. So it's really Moon that is asking us to accept this inner transformation in this big womb of time, which is the womb of time of that Virgo represents. The rulers of Virgo are Mercury, and this Mercury at the time of this lunation is in Pisces, so Mercury has wings. It doesn't like to stay in water. The intellect doesn't like to go into the emotional body. Mercury is really creating conflict and doesn't like to be in conflict into the emotional body. The other ruler is the moon, that is really in Virgo at this point in time, so is the ruler of form. So symbolically here, it's the will of God manifesting through the form. So in Virgo, Virgo is really about seeing beyond the form, so this will to see beyond, to look what is beyond. And then Jupiter is the last ruler of the hierarchical ruler of Virgo, which is conjunct Mercury in Pisces. So the mystery, Jupiter expands and wants to expand our mind. So if we allow Jupiter to expand our mind, not to hold on to what is there, we see we can have the mystery of the plan revealed. And then Jupiter is connected to Sagittarius, so Sagittarius is really about direction. So we will see the direction, we will see where to go. So we just need to stand alone in the darkness and accept, really choose who we are, to be guided by the universe in the direction where the universe is leading us. I understand it's not easy, but if we hold on to that inner flame, the inner flame of the light that is asking us to open our mind and then to stretch, to not keep holding on to the same view, we will see a broader view appear to us. Because this evening I also have the possibility to show you something different, I always mention it, but I also would like to show you our e-shop. We're going to launch our e-shop. For anything you would like to know about what the school does or anything else, you can go on our website. You have the English page. You can go to calendar and see all the seminars that the school runs, but also you can go on the individual sessions and choose the session, the consultation you may like. These are all the consultation that the school offers, so you have experienced what a soul facilitator is and know a bit more about the school and what we do. For anything, you can send a mail to the school. Soon we are thinking of running also some classes online, in the sense of offer you the possibility to also buy it directly in English. So I hope this can be helpful for you, because I always mention our website, but I never had the possibility to show it to you. So if you want to explore it, so wish you a wonderful full moon, and may the light unfold before you in this time. We need to trust where the universe is leading us, and we need to trust it with love and surrendering. So transformation happens to obedience to the plan and acceptance of the plan, and this is the key word. Have a lovely day, evening. Ciao ciao.